So her question was, given the need I've been talking about for services, are there any efforts that I can speak to around how folks are taking those resources being spent on prisons and being able to move them into places and spaces where we could fund more rehabilitation services, et cetera, et cetera. So the answer is the Department of Justice, Health and Human Services, you'll be surprised, the Center for Disease Control, a lot of these different federal agencies are now releasing lots of great research and programs where congregations, faith institutions, community-based organizations can actually create collaborations and coalitions to bring some of those federal resources to local communities to launch some of these best practices. If you go to crimesolutions.gov, you will actually see a wonderful laundry list of best practices that have been evaluated, programs that are being replicated all across the country, and you can actually compete for dollars to bring some of these resources and programs into your local city and community. We also think that churches are uniquely positioned to do this, particularly because I know Antioch does not have a physical, church building. I know you have offices, not a physical church building, but there are congregations that have a sprawling complex that could use classrooms or parts of their buildings to house reentry programs or pieces like this. We also know, given the economy, that there are lots of abandoned homes and buildings in some of our cities across the country. So congregations are joining up together to buy some of these buildings and use them as, reentry homes, so folks can come home and have transitions back into the community. So I think there are definitely lots of ways that congregations and folks can do that. And I'll just reiterate and say again that we can, as faith institutions, organize ourselves to make sure that there are embedded in the policies and laws that are being created funding mechanisms and tools that divest their resources from the prisons and the jails, and not just put it in the general fund, but actually move them strategically into the restorative justice and services side. And that requires a lot of kind of organizing because unless we put pressure on elected officials to do that, sometimes it'll just go into the amorphous general fund and those resources can get lost.